Most people think fasting is simple, just stop eating and the fat melts away. But here's the truth: millions of people fast for 16, 24, even 72 hours and still don't lose a single pound of body fat. They grind through hunger, push through fatigue, drink black coffee, wait for magic to happen, and nothing. Why? Because there's one simple mistake that quietly shuts down fat burning before it even begins. See, fasting isn't just about not eating. It's a powerful metabolic reset, but that reset only works when your hormones, particularly insulin, are aligned with your body's natural rhythm. The problem is most people sabotage this process without realizing it. They fast all day, and then the moment the window opens, they eat in a way that spikes insulin sky high, completely reversing everything they just worked for. That post-fast meal, that refeed, determines whether your body keeps burning fat or immediately flips back into storage mode. The mistake isn't the fasting itself, it's the way you prepare for it, how you fuel during it, and especially what you do afterward. Your body's ability to burn fat depends on sending the right metabolic signal. Get that signal wrong and you can fast for days and make zero progress. Get it right and your body switches into a clean, efficient fat burning machine that doesn't just shed weight, it thrives on it. Over the next few minutes, we're going to break this down step by step. You'll understand why your fasting results have stalled, what this hidden mistake looks like in your daily routine, and exactly how to fix it. Once you do, your fasts will start working the way they're supposed to, burning fat, stabilizing energy, and restoring the metabolic flexibility your body was designed for. No gimmicks, no starvation, just results. A lot of people believe that the longer they fast, the more fat they'll burn. They wear fasting hours like a badge of honor. 20 hours, 36 hours, 72 hours, convinced that time alone is the magic ingredient. But fasting isn't a contest of endurance. You don't burn fat just because the clock keeps ticking. Fat loss isn't about deprivation. It's about communication, how your body's hormones signal what to do with energy. If that signal is off, you can go without food for days and still be stuck in the same metabolic rut. When you stop eating, your insulin levels should drop. That's the cue your body uses to unlock stored fat and convert it into fuel. But here's the problem. Many people never truly reach that state because their metabolic system is resistant, sluggish, or constantly being interrupted. You might fast for 18 hours, but if your insulin sensitivity is poor, your body's still locked out of its fat stores. The switch that tells your body to burn fat never flips on. So what happens? You just burn through glycogen, stored carbohydrates, and as soon as you refeed, your body restores those glycogen levels before ever touching fat. You feel like you're doing the work, but the scale doesn't budge. Fasting is a stress, a beneficial one when done right, but your body must be equipped to handle it. If you've been fueling on processed carbs, seed oils, and constant snacking, your metabolism isn't flexible. That means your body doesn't easily transition between using glucose and fat for energy. So when you fast, instead of smoothly switching to fat burning, you crash, your energy dips, hunger ramps up, cortisol spikes, and your body fights back by holding on to fat even tighter. This is why some people feel worse, not better, the longer they fast. They're forcing a system that's metabolically broken to do something it isn't trained for. Then there's what happens when you break the fast. This is where most people undo all their progress. You can fast 20 hours, but if you end that fast with a plate of high carb, high fat reward foods, you're sending your body a mixed message. You spike insulin just when it was finally settling down. Your fat burning enzymes get shut off and your body goes right back into storage mode. That one mistake can wipe out an entire day's worth of fasting benefits. It's like working hard to drain a pool only to turn the hose back on full blast. Fat loss through fasting isn't about the length of the fast. It's about the quality of your metabolic state during and after it. Your hormones, particularly insulin, cortisol, and growth hormone, determine whether you burn fat or preserve it. If you're constantly under stress, sleeping poorly, or eating inflammatory foods, your hormonal environment becomes hostile to fat loss. Even during a fast, Your body may prioritize muscle breakdown or simply slow metabolism to conserve energy. The longer you fast under these conditions, the worse your results become. On the flip side, when your metabolism is trained and flexible, fasting becomes effortless. Your body transitions smoothly from using glucose to using fat for energy. You don't feel anxious or fatigued because your cells have access to a steady, clean energy source, stored body fat. This is what real metabolic flexibility looks like. It's the reason some people can fast 16 hours and melt fat effortlessly, while others grind through 48-hour fasts and barely move the needle. So when people tell me they're fasting hard but not seeing results, I tell them to stop chasing the clock and start fixing the signal. It's not about fasting longer, it's about fasting smarter. The key is creating an internal environment where fat burning is the default state, not a forced one. That means keeping insulin low, reducing inflammation, improving sleep, and breaking the fast with real food that keeps hormones balanced, protein, healthy fats, electrolytes, and nutrients your body recognizes. Once that foundation is in place, every fast works exponentially better. You stop relying on willpower and start relying on biology. Your body begins to do what it was built to do: access fat for fuel, stabilize energy, and repair itself between meals. When that happens, fasting stops feeling like punishment and starts becoming what it truly is: a natural, efficient rhythm that unlocks your body's ability to burn fat consistently and sustain energy effortlessly. You can do everything right during a fast: drink your water, stay consistent, push through the hunger. But the moment you break that fast the wrong way, everything collapses. That's because of one key hormone, insulin. Insulin is the gatekeeper that decides whether your body burns fat or stores it. And right after a fast, your insulin sensitivity is at its peak, which means the foods you eat in that window carry a massive impact. One wrong move and the fat burning switch turns completely off. When you fast, your insulin levels naturally drop. That drop is what allows stored fat to be released from your adipose tissue and converted into ketones and energy. It's the state we're chasing when we talk about fat burning mode. But the moment you eat, insulin rises to handle whatever fuel comes in. The problem is most people break their fast with high carb or mixed macro meals, oatmeal, fruit smoothies, toast, or even so-called healthy energy bars. In that moment, insulin shoots up like a rocket, shutting down fat oxidation instantly. The body stops burning fat and starts storing energy again. The longer the fast, the more sensitive you become, which means that insulin response is even more dramatic. You've essentially trained your body for hours to burn fat, then given it a single cue to do the opposite. This isn't just about calories, it's about signaling. Insulin tells the body there's incoming fuel, so there's no reason to keep mobilizing stored fat. Think of it like flipping a light switch: fat burning off, storage mode on. Even small amounts of the wrong foods can cause this. A handful of chips, a banana, even a clean protein shake that's loaded with hidden sugars can spike insulin enough to block the very pathway you worked all day to activate. That's why so many people plateau, not because they're not fasting long enough, but because they're breaking the fast in a way that undoes everything. After prolonged fasting, your body is incredibly efficient and sensitive. This is good when used correctly. Your muscles, liver, when you break a fast, your body enters one of the most metabolically sensitive states it ever experiences. A short window of opportunity where your next choices determine whether you stay in fat burning mode or shift back into storage. This is what I call the critical window, the 60 to 90 minutes after you eat your first post-fast meal. It's the period when your hormones, enzymes, and nutrient sensors are all primed to respond. And depending on how you handle this window, you either amplify the fat burning signal or completely shut it down. After fasting, insulin is at rock bottom. Your body is running efficiently on stored fat and ketones. The goal is to reintroduce food in a way that keeps that signal alive: stable insulin, steady energy, continued oxidation of fat for fuel. But most people do the opposite. They go straight for quick carbs, fruit, smoothies, toast, oatmeal, or anything that feels like a reward for making it through the fast Within minutes, blood sugar spikes, insulin floods the system, and the metabolic switch flips off. The body stops using stored fat and prioritizes processing incoming glucose. What was supposed to be a continuation of fat burning turns into a recovery phase dominated by storage. That's the danger of not understanding timing. You can fast perfectly for 18 or 24 hours, but if you eat the wrong foods during this 90-minute window, you can erase nearly all the benefits. Your body's fat burning machinery doesn't run on time alone. It runs on hormonal cues. When insulin rises too fast or too high, you lose access to stored fat. When it stays balanced and low, your metabolism keeps humming in that efficient, lean burning state even after eating. The most powerful way to use this window is by controlling your macronutrients and your pace. Start your first post-fast meal with protein and healthy fats, not carbs. Protein provides amino acids that rebuild muscle and stabilize blood sugar. Fats help slow digestion and keep insulin minimal. Together, they extend the fat burning phase and tell your body that it's safe to stay in that mode. Think of this as easing your metabolism back into gear rather than slamming it into reverse. A simple meal like steak and eggs, salmon and avocado, or even a few eggs cooked in butter sends the right message: repair, recover, but stay efficient. Timing your next meal also matters. Right after breaking the fast, your digestive enzymes, insulin receptors, and energy sensors like AMPK are in a delicate balance. If you flood the system too quickly or eat repeatedly within that first hour, you blunt those signals. Your body gets confused. It doesn't know whether to store or burn. By spacing your next meal at least 3 to 4 hours later, you give your metabolism time to stabilize and continue drawing from stored fat between meals. This is how you extend the benefits of fasting beyond the fast itself. Exercise timing also plays a role here. Light resistance training or walking shortly after breaking your fast can further enhance insulin sensitivity and help direct nutrients toward muscle tissue instead of fat storage. When you train during or right after this window, your muscles act like sponges. They pull in glucose and amino acids, leaving less opportunity for fat cells to store energy. You're using the post-fast state exactly as nature intended, to rebuild and refuel strategically. If you treat the refeed like a continuation of your fast instead of a reward for surviving it, your results compound. You burn more fat between meals, stay mentally sharper, and recover better. You stop yoing between starvation and binging and start developing metabolic control. That's real fasting mastery, not chasing longer hours, but aligning your timing and nutrition with the biology of your body. This 60 to 90-minute window is the crossroads of your entire fasting strategy. Handle it right, and you turn every fast into a metabolic accelerator. Handle it wrong, and you reset the system back to storage mode. It's not about perfection, it's about precision. Fasting teaches discipline, but it's the timing afterward that delivers transformation. When you align that window with the right foods and spacing, your body doesn't just burn fat, it learns to stay in that mode naturally day after day. The single most powerful adjustment you can make to your fasting routine isn't about fasting longer or cutting calories harder. It's about what you put on your plate when the fast ends. And if there's one thing that separates people who get results from those who spin their wheels, it's this: making protein the priority. Leading your first meal with high-quality animal protein completely changes the hormonal outcome of your fast. It stabilizes insulin, protects lean muscle, boosts your metabolic rate, and keeps your body locked in fat-burning mode long after the meal is over. Here's why this matters. After fasting, your body is primed to absorb whatever fuel you give it. Insulin sensitivity is high, enzymes are active, and your cells are ready to take in nutrients. If you break that fast with carbs, your insulin spikes, shutting off fat oxidation. But if you start with protein, the story changes. Protein triggers a mild, controlled insulin response, just enough to shuttle amino acids into your muscles without flipping the metabolic switch toward fat storage. It provides structure, not chaos. It keeps your blood sugar stable instead of spiking it. That stability is what allows fat burning to continue seamlessly after the fast. Protein also protects your most valuable asset, lean muscle mass. During fasting, your body relies on stored fat and some amino acids for energy. If you fail to replenish those amino acids with real protein when you break the fast, you risk losing muscle tissue. And muscle isn't just for strength or appearance, it's your metabolic engine. The more lean mass you have, the more calories you burn at rest. The better you regulate blood sugar and the easier fat loss becomes. When you prioritize protein, you're not just feeding your muscles, you're preserving your metabolism. Animal protein is especially powerful because it provides a complete amino acid profile, everything your body needs to repair and rebuild tissue efficiently. Foods like steak, eggs, fish, and ground beef deliver leucine, methionine, and other key amino acids that directly stimulate muscle protein synthesis. They also deliver nutrients like zinc, iron, and B vitamins that support energy metabolism and hormonal balance. That's something plant-based proteins can't match in density or biological value. When your body senses those signals from animal protein, it turns on repair mode, not storage mode. The thermic effect of protein also gives it a unique advantage. Simply digesting and metabolizing protein burns more calories than any other macronutrient. Up to 30% of the protein's energy content can be used just for processing it. This means that when you break your fast with protein, your metabolism literally speeds up. You feel warmer, more alert, and more energized. Your body is working efficiently, converting nutrients into repair and energy instead of storing them as fat. Now, let's talk about what this looks like in practice. When your fasting window ends, don't think about refeeding, think about rebuilding. Start your first bite with pure protein, a few eggs, a piece of steak, ground beef, or salmon. Wait a few minutes before adding anything else. Let your body process that signal. If you choose to include fats, make them natural butter, tallow, or egg yolks to help slow digestion and further flatten the insulin curve. Avoid combining protein with carbs, especially refined ones. That's the combination that sends insulin soaring and stops fat burning in its tracks. The goal isn't to restrict, it's to reprogram. When you lead your meal with protein, you teach your body what to do with food. Use it to build, not store. Over time, your hunger signals recalibrate. You stay full longer, your cravings for sugar fade, and your fasting window becomes effortless because your body runs efficiently between meals. This is what true metabolic flexibility feels like: stable energy, sharp focus, and consistent fat loss without the roller coaster of blood sugar highs and crashes. Most people fail at fasting because they treat it like punishment, as if the fast itself is the only work that matters. But fasting is just the setup. The real transformation happens in how you break it. By making protein the centerpiece, you take control of your hormones, your metabolism, and your energy. You stop fighting biology and start working with it. And when that happens, fasting stops being a struggle and becomes a predictable, powerful tool for lifelong fat loss and metabolic health. Let's take everything we've talked about: the timing, the hormonal control, the protein first principle, and translate it into something you can actually do every single day. Because theory means nothing if it doesn't fit into real life. The goal isn't perfection, it's consistency. You don't need complicated schedules, dozens of supplements, or expensive powders. What you need is structure, simplicity, and a clear rhythm your body can adapt to. That's what makes fasting sustainable and powerful. Your day starts the moment you stop eating from your last meal. Let's say your final meal is dinner around 6 or 7 p.m. That's the beginning of your fast. Overnight, your body's insulin naturally drops and you move into fat burning mode while you sleep. You don't have to do anything special here. Just let your body rest and repair. When you wake up, don't rush to eat. Your first few hours awake are where the real benefits of fasting compound. Drink water, maybe add electrolytes or a pinch of sea salt to stay hydrated and keep your minerals balanced. If you want, black coffee or unsweetened tea is fine. Just don't use creamers, milk, or artificial sweeteners that could nudge insulin upward. Most people find that a 16 to 18-hour fast works beautifully. That means if you stopped eating at 7 p.m., you'll break your fast around 11 a.m. or 1 p.m. But this isn't about the clock, it's about your body's signals. The right time to eat is when your energy dips slightly, but you still feel clear, headed, not ravenous. That's the sweet spot where fat burning is peaking and your metabolism is ready for nourishment. Now comes the critical part, the refeed. Remember, how you break the fast determines everything that follows. The first thing you eat should always be protein. Think of this as sending your body the right code to stay in repair and rebuild mode instead of switching to storage. A simple, powerful meal could be 3 to 4 eggs cooked in butter, a piece of ribeye steak, or ground beef with a few slices of bacon. Keep it pure animal-based, rich in nutrients, and free from carbs or processed oils. That combination stabilizes insulin and extends the fat-burning effect even after you've eaten. After that first meal, give your body time to process it. Don't graze or snack right away. Let 2 to 4 hours pass before your next meal. During that time, your metabolism stays active and continues drawing from fat stores. For your second meal, usually dinner, keep it in the same framework. Prioritize protein and add natural fats for satiety. Something like grilled salmon with butter, lamb chops, or even burger patties with eggs works perfectly. You don't need side dishes or carbs to feel satisfied when your protein intake is high and your hormones are balanced. If you train or work out, timing can help you maximize results. Doing light resistance training or walking before your first meal enhances insulin sensitivity, meaning your post-fast protein gets pulled into your muscles more efficiently. You're literally using food to repair and rebuild instead of store if you prefer to work out. The real power of fasting isn't in a single day of discipline. It's in what happens when you repeat the right behaviors long enough for your body to adapt. Most people treat fasting like a temporary tool to lose weight fast, but the real goal is to reprogram your metabolism for life. When you stay consistent, prioritize protein, and align your meals with your body's natural rhythm, fat burning becomes automatic. You're no longer forcing your body to lose weight. You're teaching it to stay lean, energized, and efficient by default. Consistency is the cornerstone. Your metabolism thrives on patterns, not perfection. Every time you fast and break, that fast the right way with high quality animal protein and stable insulin control, you're reinforcing a biological signal. That signal tells your body, use fat for energy, preserve muscle, repair cells. Over time, your body doesn't just respond to that message, it adopts it as normal. This is where the shift happens. Instead of struggling to get back into fat burning mode every few days you live there, your metabolism becomes flexible, your hunger signals become predictable, and you no longer depend on willpower to stay on track. This is what adaptive metabolism truly means. Your body becomes efficient at switching between using stored fat and dietary fuel. You stop getting energy crashes, mood swings, or sudden hunger pangs. The fasting hours feel natural, not forced, because your cells are fueled consistently from within. You wake up feeling lighter, more alert, and more in control of your appetite. And when you do eat, your body knows exactly what to do with the food, use it to build, recover, and move forward, not stored away for later. Leading every refeed with protein is the engine that keeps this running. It's not just a habit, it's a signal that shapes how your body prioritizes energy. Protein, first meals keep insulin low, support muscle maintenance, and elevate metabolic rate. Over time, this reduces body fat not just by burning more calories, but by optimizing the way your body partitions nutrients. Instead of turning food into stored fat, your body directs it toward repair and energy production. That's why people who consistently break their fasts with animal protein find that they can maintain lean muscle, lose fat steadily, and eat without anxiety about messing up their progress. Your muscle mass becomes the thermostat for your metabolism. The more lean tissue you maintain, the higher your resting energy burn. Every gram of protein you eat goes to sustaining that muscle, which means you're constantly burning more energy even when you're not fasting. This is why protein prioritized fasting doesn't slow your metabolism like typical calorie restriction. Instead, it keeps the engine running hot, steady fat oxidation, better hormonal balance, and more consistent results. The beautiful part is how effortless it becomes once your body adapts. You stop obsessing over fasting hours or meal timing because your metabolism is stable. You can skip a meal naturally without fatigue. You can eat to satiety without guilt. The system becomes self-sustaining. Fasting feels good because your body trusts it. That's when you know you've crossed from dieting to living in alignment with your physiology. But this only happens through repetition. It's not about perfection every day. It's about consistency over weeks and months. Each correct fast break meal teaches your body what normal should look like. Over time, inflammation drops, insulin sensitivity improves, and your mitochondria, your body's energy factories, become more efficient. You're not just losing fat, you're rebuilding metabolic health from the inside out. That's what leads to lasting weight loss, better energy, and long-term vitality. Even when you have days where you eat off plan or miss your fasting window, your body's baseline stays improved. Because once you've trained your metabolism to operate in fat burning mode, it doesn't forget overnight. It knows how to recover quickly. That's the advantage of metabolic flexibility, resilience. You're not derailed by one bad meal or one skipped fast because your system is already efficient and adaptive. In time, fasting stops being something you do and becomes part of who you are, a simple natural rhythm where food works for you, not against you. You eat to rebuild, you fast to reset, and your energy stays steady through it all. That's when fat loss becomes effortless, not because you're trying harder, but because your body finally understands what you've been asking it to do all along.